YouTube, and welcome back to the ADK. We've got some exciting news. I know it's been a while since I posted anything, and I apologize for that. I've been preparing as much as I can for a trip, a big trip this time. In the last 2 years, I've gone up to my property in the Adirondack Park for 2 weeks at a time. That's all I could really do. I didn't really have the facilities or the infrastructure in place to live there for an extended time, but it's prepared now. I believe it's prepared now. I'm going to find out. Today is Saturday, May 11th, 2024, and in exactly a week, I will be on my way back to the ADK. I'll be driving up. I purchased a Honda Pilot. It's a used Honda Pilot. I found the Infiniti G37 that I owned before was not a long distance trip car and also was not well suited to climbing mountains. So I got something that was a little heavier duty that also allows me to boondock. So on the 2.5-day trip from Florida, it will allow me to sleep in the back of the car. That'll save on hotel fees, and I'll be able to get up first thing in the morning and get right back on the road. I'll try and insert some video of the vehicle here. It's a 2013, as I said. It's used, but it was well used and well taken care of. I've done a little bit of work to it, and as you can see, I've already outfitted it for the drive on a dry run, which I try to do before I drive up. I packed in as much of the gear as I could get in there that would take up the appropriate amount of space. And then I got the dog in the car and we drove around the block several times just to get him used to it, to see if he was comfortable with the allotted space that he had. I'm able to set up a full-size mattress in there with a pillow, and I'll have a sleeping bag over the top of it just to give it extra cushion. And the dog has his own space and his own bed. So I think it's going to be a much better vehicle for traveling back and forth. However, I won't be doing as much traveling this time because I plan to go to the property and work from there remotely for 3 to 4 months. I have a 2 kilowatt solar generator system, an EcoFlow Delta. I'm not sponsored by anyone. This is bought with my money, partly because I want to experiment to see how viable the site is for solar power and whether I can do either some off-grid or hybrid type of situation for electricity. I also, as you know, have generators that I can use should I not get enough available sunlight. I can charge that 2 kilowatt system in about an hour on the generator. So I'm expecting that every couple of days I'll wind up having to top up the charge with the generator, but that means I don't have to run a generator outside my tent all day long while I'm trying to work, which is great. I'm also going to be investing in a Starlink internet system. I tested for Starlink when I was there at the property the last time, and I have a good clear view of the sky. I've used a sky scanning web page. I'll try and include a link in the description. It's a third-party website that tracks several different satellite internet providers. Starlink is one of them, but it does show almost in real time the number of satellites that will be over my property. So you can actually go and feed in an address and set that up as your primary residence, and then it will show you at any given time how much connectivity you have. I've also gone onto the Starlink website. It's actually faster than the wireless internet in the company office. So I think I should be fine there. But again, this is a learning experience. If not, I have several backup possibilities that I can explore. And failure is always an option. If I can't get consistent, fast enough connectivity to do my job, then I can always just come home. That would be a huge disappointment, obviously, and I don't think it's likely. So I'm very hopeful that I'll have good internet connectivity from there, as well as enough sun to maintain the battery at least for a couple of days before I have to top it up with a generator. I have a number of projects that I'd like to be working on this summer, but the main purpose of this video that I want to talk about is my prep. I've already talked about the vehicle prep. One of the biggest things I have to do in order to prep to live on my property is to prepare my clothes for the ticks. Deer ticks in New York State are a very real issue. Ticks can carry a range of diseases. I've got Cooper, my dog, on a multi-factor medicine that covers roundworms, heartworm, ticks, and fleas. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the video footage that I have about preparing my clothes. Today's job is clothes prep for the trip. I am prepping my clothes with permethrin. Everything is, ticks are a thing in the woods in New York State, and actually just in the grass in New York State. So you can buy 0.5% solution of permethrin spray, but it's pretty expensive. You get 16 ounces for like $25, or for $10 you can buy this 10%, which has exactly the same active ingredient. And what I do is I put 1 ounce of that permethrin into this 20-ounce bottle. Now this one is petroleum based. I got it off of Amazon. You can pick this up at like farm stores, farm supplies. It's used for spraying onto animals like cows and horses to keep ticks off of them. And they use it at full strength for that. But for human use, you want it at 0.5%. So to dilute a 10% solution to 0.5%, I took 1 ounce and mixed it with 20 ounces. I think this is actually about 22 ounces of water. Now I had a little bit left over from the last spray that I did, so it evens out to, 0.5% or maybe just a little bit stronger. And then this will go on the clothing. You spray it once, you let it air dry. It actually bonds to the fibers of the clothing, and it honestly, ticks will touch it and drop right off. It acts as like a nerve toxin for ticks and certain other insects in that family. But it's great. It's kind of a set it and forget it kind of thing. Now, normally when I'm there for 2 weeks, I'll spray my clothing before I leave, and you can wash them 3 or 4 times before you lose the active protection. Since I'm going to be there for 3 to 4 months this time, I'll be bringing this along with me, and I'll keep it so that I can mix it and reapply it probably once a month to the clothing to keep it freshed up so that we don't have tick problems, because the entire summer is tick season in New York. Application of the spray is as simple as just wetting the cloth, but you want to wet the cloth until the color changes so you know that it's actually absorbed into the fabric. I try to do I pay special attention around the sleeve holes, the neck hole, and the bottom, because ticks are going to, crawl up you. So if you can stop them at the bottom of the shirt down here, they're not going to crawl up. If you have pants on that are also protected, you're going to get a double whammy and they'll never get to your skin. So I do my boots, my shoes, my socks, my underwear. Like, I have had ticks on me before, and no joke, I don't like them. So it's well worth it to just soak everything. It's not harmful to humans in the right concentration. And the only thing you want to do is when you're mixing this, if you have cats, do it someplace where the cats can't get close to it. It's dangerous for cats for some reason, but not dogs. You can actually spray this solution right on a dog, and it'll help with tick abatement, which I'll probably do when I get up to New York. But anyway, you literally just are going to, I've got to work with the wind here, unfortunately, but you just want to spray it on the clothing. Make sure you get good coverage. It's tough in the wind because it's going to pull the cloth and you're going to get some dry spots. So you've got to kind of go back over it. I'm right facing into it. I don't want to breathe this stuff in. But you literally just spray it on until you see the color change. When this dries, as you can see on the socks and underwear back there, it dries invisible. You don't smell it, you don't see it. But as soon as a tick lands on this, I've literally been walking in the woods and had ticks where I brushed up against a bush and a tick landed on my sleeve. and I saw them within a minute curl up and die. So it's super harmful for ticks, not harmful for humans or dogs. And again, just get a good soaking. I don't know if you can see that color change there on the cloth. If you get little wrinkles in the fabric while you're doing this, you want to make sure that you turn that so the wind catches it and you can get all the different areas. Especially careful around the neck and the sleeves and the bottom. And then just like a general coating over the rest of it. And that's one done. Another thing you can do for tick abatement is they prefer dark colored clothing. I don't know whether it's a heat thing. From a sensor perspective, it definitely makes it easier to spot them on light colored clothing because they're like a reddish brown or black. So I generally try to wear lighter colors. You'll see I've got a mix of darker colors in there. I won't wear those in the woods, but I will wear them around camp. And I spray everything. Every single thing that I'm taking with me will be sprayed with this, including my awning and my tent, just in case. You know, I don't think that there's a chance the ticks are going to crawl on the tent, but around the doorway especially, I'll do permethrin. I've never had, knock wood, I've never had ticks in the tent. I don't know that this has anything to do with it, but it doesn't cost much of anything to do, and I'm going for never having ticks ever in the tent. So if it's a little bit of work and a few pennies worth of cost to make that happen, then that's what I'm going to do. All right, so that's it. That's the entire process. You can see these are already starting to dry. Florida sun and wind is hot. So inside of 20 minutes, these will be dry. And as I said, that protection will last through 3 or 4 washes. So, you know, you can wear the clothes as normal. It doesn't smell, you can't see it. But it acts as an effective tick barrier. A couple things. My interesting setup here, it's just a piece of chain. I found that that's easy to keep the clothes loose so that they can move around and dry, and it's suspended from the old swing set that I had when my kids were young. But feel free to put it on a clothesline, you know, anywhere where you can get the clothes free blowing so that all sides of it have a chance to dry. The other thing is this permethrin doesn't bother me. It's used by the forestry industry. Lots of people who work outdoors all the time are using this, so it's proven safe over years. But as anything, you may have an allergy to it. So before you go hog wild on it, just test it to make sure you're not sensitive to it. And if you are and you still want to wear it, you know, if it's dry and it's fine, but when it's wet, you have a sensitivity to it, just wear long clothing and rubber gloves and stuff when you're applying it. I would not advise to like blowing into the wind so that you're breathing the stuff in. Anything that's safe in, you know, moderate amounts is gonna, you know, potentially be toxic like internally in the lungs and stuff like that. So just either wear a mask, or as I do, I try to spray it downwind so that I don't have to breathe in any fumes. But I am not an expert. Read up on it, do your own research. There's lots of research on the internet about permethrin and its uses, the safe concentrations for humans, and so on and so forth. So, but I highly recommend it. I have seen it work and I believe in it 100%. For anyone that's wondering about my Uber complex setup here for things like small socks and beanies, like small items like this, it's just a hanger. Let me see if I can get to the camera here. So it's just a hanger. I've got some bread ties, and then little clips, either binder clips. I think these are sewing clips that I borrowed from my daughter. And I just space them out evenly so that I get enough space here to have good coverage. And then same process, just spray them and let them dry. For those of you already furiously typing in the comments, I know those little ankle socks are not going to provide much protection against ticks. Obviously my ankle is exposed right there. I use other protection methods on my skin, obviously, but most of the time I'm going to be wearing those socks either in my tent or around camp when I'm going from the tent to cooking, or out to the outhouse or whatever. So they're not going to be seeing any duty like out in the woods, or in the deep bush where the ticks are going to be mostly prevalent. I will still do, I spray everything. As I said, I will be spraying the shoes that I wear. I'll spray the sandals, even though, again, sandals aren't going to provide much protection, but it doesn't take much time at all. It costs almost nothing, and if it helps prevent a tick bite, it's worth it. I'm extremely excited. I'm a little worried, a little trepidatious. This will be a big jump, going from basically a vacation for 2 weeks where I can fly in and out, and there's not a lot of risk. Honestly, if I get cold, it's only for a couple of weeks, where this time I'll be staying there for several months, and I'll be living out of the same cooler and kitchen arrangement, living in the same tent that I have been using just for 2 weeks. So I think I've proven the theory by taking 3 or 4 of these 2-week jaunts. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being able to test out the theory of a solar system with a battery system for power, the Starlink internet. So I've got complete remote connectivity that I can actually shut off at the end of my 4 months and then turn it back on when I go back up again, as opposed to a permanent landline type infrastructure for internet where I'd have to pay for that service year round. So I'm kind of excited to try that all out. And then I'll be there nights and weekends for months instead of for just a few weeks. So I'll be able to do a lot of cleanup around the land and extended projects instead of trying to rush through every project to get it completed. I can take my time, and I can actually relax and enjoy the property, which I just really haven't had time to do. Thank you all for watching these videos, for all the likes and any comments. I really appreciate comments. I don't get enough of them, so please comment in the in the video to let me know what you like, what you don't like. If you have any ideas for future videos, about my life off-grid there in the Adirondack Park, let me know, and I'll be happy to try and make that happen. I'm always looking for new ideas. If you like these videos, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And if you click the bell icon, it will actually notify you when I post a new video. One of the nice things that I'm going to be able to do while living there for an extended amount of time is I'll be able to actually create the videos and upload them right from my property. In the past, I've had to actually do all of the filming and save that until I get home, and then edit it down and upload the videos afterwards. My goal is to have once a week a new video about something. So there's plenty of outdoor recreation, as well as just things to see and do. So I'm hoping to have good enough content that I can upload something once a week. I certainly have got enough projects around there involving chainsaws and hammering and drilling that should keep those of you that like that type of stuff busy at least the rest of the summer. Thanks for watching.